Once upon a time there lived a princess named Maya. She lived in a palace in the kingdom of Ophelia with her father. Her mother died when she was only 8, and Maya and her mother were very close. Even though she was very young and didn't quite understand the situation with her mother's death, she was very heartbroken and upset about it, and ever since then she has been very depressed. She always tries to hide it, but everyone has noticed how much her mother's death affected her, even years after, since they were close. She is 15 years old. Her 16th birthday is soon to come in a month's time, and at the age of 16 she must marry a prince and become the Queen of Ophelia. Since she is Princess of Ophelia and she is not allowed to leave her palace until true royalty is being her queen. Her father doesn't want a different family to become the royal family ruling the land of Ophelia, so he has been trying to find a prince that Maya likes for the past year non-stop. Every prince that Maya meets either has just came for power and didn't care for the way that she acted and treated them. Others wanted her to respect them, yet she had a terrible attitude ever since her mother's death. So many have been chased off due to her actions. After her father had brought hundreds of princes to marry his daughter, he has failed. Not one had good interest in his daughter or her have any interest in them. Her father got very angry with her and had made her even more upset than she had to begin with. She had finally had enough of being forced into marriage, so she decided to leave the palace for the first time ever. She packed a light bag with food, clothing, and as much money as she could find. At dark she made her escape, climbing over the Great Wall of Ophelia to a tiny village in the land of Ophelia, where there are markets and the homes are poor. She thought of it as a perfect place to hide until she could get really used to the new environment and hide from her father and the palace guards. Soon she takes trains and buses and gets very, very far away from the land of Ophelia. After 2 weeks of traveling, she is thousands of miles away from home and decided to settle down for a little bit. She rented a room and could finally relax and not have to worry about getting taken back to the palace. Once she woke up, she had noticed a woman had appeared in her room, and she tells her that her destiny awaits her.
Who are you and what are you doing in my room?
I'm your godmother.
I don't have a godmother. Who are you?
Yes, you do. You just don't remember. I just had some trouble communicating.
I don't understand. If I had a godmother, I'm pretty sure I would have known.
I am truly your godmother. I have watched over you for the past 16 years. I have seen you lose your first tooth and ride a bicycle for the first time without training wheels. I have seen you do a lot of things in your life that you might not even remember. But most of all, I have seen the effect your mother's death has had on you.
I think I'm fine. There's no reason for it to affect me. It was so long ago.
It definitely affects the person that you have become and you're turning into. Look at you. Thousands of miles away from your home, with no clue how this affects the people in the whole land of Ophelia.
Me leaving only affects the land of Ophelia by giving them a better life without me. I am not fit to be their queen or the wife of any man.
Princess knew that the godmother really was her godmother, and after their conversation, decided that she didn't want anything to do with her old life, nothing to do with the kingdom she once belonged to or her godmother. So she goes on and meets new people. One person in particular caught her eye, a man named Henry. She saw him working in a market one day where he works. She would go there every morning for the past week and another week to come. They would always talk, and he was very kind to her. One day he asked her to come over for dinner, and she accepts his offer.
White one too.
Oh my god. Thank you so much. I love tangerines.
Really cool.
Yeah, so where do you live?
I live in a small cottage, but it's better than where I used to live.
And where's that?
Everywhere, but now that I have my own shop in a market, I have been able to put this place together. I know it's not much, but it sure is something.
They had a quiet but enjoyable dinner. At the end, Maya said that she had a great time and hopes to do it soon and wouldn't miss it for the world. Henry agreed and decided to have it the next day for dinner. The next day, Maya of course spends her whole day baking him a pie and getting ready. She wanted everything to be perfect so she could also put a thank you letter for dinner. Soon enough, her godmother appears.
What are you doing here?
You must know that your palace is being taken over because of barbarians trying to have the next royal family. The palace is on lockdown. You need to help battle off the barbarians and save the kingdom.
I don't know how to battle. I can't even do this. Why can't you help stop to make it back in time for my birthday?
This is what I was talking about. This is your destiny.
The princess circles the room to think of what to do and completely forgets about her date with Henry that she wouldn't miss for the world. When all of a sudden her godmother hits the back of her head and she knocks out. In 2 hours, she is in the basement of her now supposed to be godmother. That something was wrong and decided to go to her house. He found blood from when the godmother knocked her out, the pie and all her stuff still there. So he follows the trail of blood a few miles out of the village to a home, the godmother's home. He goes and finds no one home and knocks the door down. He looks around and finally finds the princess.
Henry, over here! How'd you find me?
I followed the blood trail to this house. Are you hurt?
I'm fine.
I'm glad you're here.
I'll tell you everything later, but first we have to get out of here!
Henry unties Maya, and she tells him about what happened and who she really is, and insists on helping her in her kingdom. So, they train for 3 days straight until she has the strength, power, and skills. They also have many people willing to help fight the barbarians and befriend Maya's kingdom. Ready to fight off the barbarians, they make their trip as fast as she can. And they attack by surprise and kill hundreds of barbarians and finally make their way to the jail of the palace where she found her father. They saved him, while the other warriors killed the rest of the barbarians. Many barbarians ran back home out of fear, and finally, after a 2-day war, the land of Ophelia had won.
Maya, I'm so happy you are back. I thought I have lost you forever. You don't have it to marry if you don't want to. Henry, we really appreciate all the help you and this army you have created in only 1 day. But I have nothing to offer you. My land and money have suffered.
All I want is your daughter's hand in marriage.
Maya, what do you say?
I say yes. We still have 2 days until my birthday. There's plenty of time for the wedding.
They had the wedding the day before her birthday, which was the day after they changed the law to royal family does not have to marry royalty. They can marry out of love, which is what happened. Henry became Ophelia's army commissioner and their king, and they all lived happily ever after.
Open your mouth, just pretend you're.
We're almost there. We must prepare.